Imagine a war so immense that mountains became weapons, oceans boiled, and the sky itself trembled. Not a war between nations, not a war between good and evil, but a war between generations. The Greek Titanomachy, the legendary battle between the Titans and the Olympian gods, is often remembered simply as mythology, a tale of Zeus overthrowing Cronus before becoming king of Olympus. But beneath the monsters, lightning bolts, and epic battles lies something surprisingly relevant. The Titanomachy is about a question every human being must eventually answer. When should you preserve the old world? And when must you destroy it to create something better? Because every generation inherits traditions, beliefs, fears, and ambitions from those who came before. Sometimes they deserve to survive. Sometimes they imprison us. The Greeks transformed this universal struggle into one of the greatest myths ever told. And perhaps the Titans are not buried beneath the earth. Perhaps they still live inside us. The tyranny of fear. The story begins long before Zeus. The universe was ruled by Cronus, king of the Titans. Cronus himself had seized power by overthrowing his own father, Uranus. But victory brought him no peace. A prophecy declared that one of Cronus's children would overthrow him, just as he had overthrown his father. Unable to escape destiny, Cronus chose control. Every time one of his children was born, he swallowed them alive. Hestia, Demeter, Hera, Hades, Poseidon. Each disappeared into darkness before ever experiencing life. Only Zeus escaped. His mother Rhea secretly hid him and gave Cronus a stone wrapped in cloth instead. Years later, Zeus returned, not merely to rescue his siblings, but to challenge an entire order built upon fear. Notice something remarkable. Cronus was not evil because he desired power. He became monstrous because he feared losing it. Fear transformed a father into a prison. The Greeks understood a profound truth. Many tyrannies are born not from strength, but from insecurity. How often do we cling to jobs we hate because we fear uncertainty? How often do we refuse new ideas because they threaten our identity? How often do leaders silence others because criticism feels dangerous? Cronus is more than a titan. He is fear refusing to let the future exist. Why the young must challenge the old. When Zeus reached adulthood, he did something astonishing. He did not simply rebel. He built alliances. He freed his swallowed siblings. He released the Cyclopes imprisoned beneath the earth. He liberated the hundred-handed giants whom even the Titans feared. The oppressed became his greatest allies. The Greeks were making another philosophical point. Real revolutions are rarely won alone. They succeed by recognizing overlooked strengths. The Titans possessed overwhelming power. The Olympians possessed adaptability. This difference changed history. The Titans believed the old hierarchy guaranteed victory. Zeus believed intelligence mattered more than tradition. This conflict echoes throughout history. Scientific revolutions challenged ancient certainty. Democracy challenged hereditary kings. New philosophies replaced forgotten doctrines. Every civilization eventually faces its own Titanomachy. Should we preserve inherited systems simply because they are old? Or should we replace them when they no longer serve humanity? The Greeks did not glorify rebellion for its own sake. Instead, they suggested that legitimacy belongs not to age, but to wisdom. Sometimes respecting the past means refusing to remain imprisoned by it. Chaos before order. The Titanomachy lasted 10 years, an entire decade. Neither side could claim victory. Mountains shattered, the seas erupted, the heavens echoed with endless thunder. This endless struggle reflects another uncomfortable reality. Meaningful transformation is rarely peaceful. We often imagine personal growth as a calm journey, but genuine change usually feels like war. Old habits resist, old identities refuse to disappear. Comfort fights against possibility. The Greeks portrayed creation itself as emerging through conflict. Even Zeus did not simply inherit order. He had to earn it. Modern psychology echoes this insight. Whenever we leave behind an outdated version of ourselves, we experience uncertainty. The familiar collapses before the new identity becomes stable. This explains why change feels frightening. Our internal titans fight desperately for survival. The old self whispers, stay where you are. Do not risk failure. Do not become someone different. Yet without that struggle, nothing truly changes. The Titanomachy reminds us that chaos is often the price of transformation. Victory does not end. Conflict. Eventually, Zeus prevailed. The Cyclopes forged his thunderbolt. Poseidon wielded his trident. Hades received the helm of darkness. Together, they defeated the Titans. Many were imprisoned forever in Tartarus. At first glance, the story appears complete. The old generation loses. The new generation wins. But Greek mythology refuses such simplicity. Even after the Titanomachy, suffering continues. Wars continue, monsters continue. Human tragedy continues. Why? Because defeating external enemies never eliminates internal ones. Zeus inherited the throne, but he also inherited responsibility. Power itself became a burden. The Greeks repeatedly warned that every ruler risked becoming what they once opposed. History confirms this lesson. Revolutionaries sometimes become dictators. Liberators sometimes become oppressors. Victims sometimes repeat the behavior that once wounded them. Winning is easier than governing. Destroying is easier than building. Replacing an old system means little unless something wiser replaces it. The Greeks understood that every victory creates new responsibilities. Freedom demands maturity. The Titans within you. Perhaps the greatest lesson of the Titanomachy is psychological. The Titans are not merely ancient beings imprisoned beneath the earth. They symbolize the primitive forces within every human being. Fear, pride, jealousy, possessiveness, the desire to control, the refusal to change. Zeus represents something different: reason, courage, vision, the willingness to accept uncertainty. Every important decision becomes a miniature Titanomachy. Should you remain in a life that feels safe but empty? Should you cling to old beliefs despite new evidence? Should you protect your ego or pursue truth? The battle never truly ends. The Greeks were not asking us to destroy the past entirely. Zeus himself respected many ancient cosmic laws. What had to disappear was not tradition, it was tyranny. There is wisdom in preserving foundations. There is also wisdom in recognizing when those foundations have become prisons. True maturity lies in distinguishing between the two. Your own Titanomachy. The Titanomachy is far more than an ancient myth. It is the story of civilization. It is the story of history. And above all, it is the story of the human mind. Each of us inherits invisible titans. Ideas from our parents, fears from childhood, habits built through years of repetition. Some deserve gratitude. Others quietly prevent us from becoming who we could be. The Greeks did not promise that overthrowing your inner titans would be easy. Quite the opposite. They imagined it as a war lasting 10 years, a battle that shook the heavens themselves. Perhaps that is why the myth has endured for nearly 3,000 years. Because every generation must fight it again, and every individual must eventually ask the same question Zeus once faced. Will you remain loyal to a world built by fear, or will you endure the chaos required to build a better one? The answer, as the Greeks understood, determines not only who rules the heavens, but who rules your own soul. If this video changed the way you think, consider subscribing to The Strange Republic for more philosophical journeys into the strangest ideas ever imagined.